Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being with us on the program. Happy Friday to you. Happy pre-Super Bowl JJ and Alex version of the program today to you. Joining us on the program right now, sitting in for JJ, who happens to be in Santa Clara, California for, we can call it the Super Bowl because we're not giving anything away right now. Sly, what's going on? Stevenson Sylvester, of course, the our dude
hitter.
who comes in and
Pinch hitter.
It's not just that, man. Like, you're the pinch runner, pinch hitter. You could just be all the pinch, please. That'd be great. So
You guys can still take the credit. I don't need it. I just like to play the game.
Here's how much Sly is in our studio too. You and me were a promo like last week on Instagram, dude.
Were we?
Yeah, it was like a back and forth. I start off arguing about something and I'm saying something, and then it cuts to you and I go, "Oh yeah, Sly, he deserves a promo. Absolutely, Sly needs a promo. Come on, man.
Let's do it.
It was all about the college football playoff stuff and just how the committee didn't want to budge on anything, and the SEC and the Big Ten were fighting, and so the usual.
Hey.
The usual. So it's a fun weekend to have a guy who played in the Super Bowl sitting to my right, and of course JJ is out covering the Super Bowl in Santa Clara for KSL 5 Television and for us here at KSL Sports, and somebody's asking me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, how lucky is JJ? He gets to go to all these things." I'm gonna be totally honest.
You're going to talk to JJ. He would not agree.
When you go to a lot of Olympics and you go to a lot of Super Bowls, you tell people it's a great opportunity, and then you also go, those are some hard days of work. Well, and so right now we have Sam in Milan Cortina, and so JJ's having to pick up all of the slack here back in Salt Lake City, and then they go, and also go cover the Super Bowl this weekend. So MVP award goes to JJ this weekend over Sam Farnsworth. It was the closest MVP race that we've had between the two sports anchors in 23 years. So we're glad that was able to happen. We were able to throw that down. All right, we're kicking off the show, of course, as usual with the cut. So why not start to get things kicked off here talking about the biggest event over the weekend? I'm not talking about the opening ceremonies, although those were pretty fun to watch.
Oh, talk about waste management?
I'm not talking about the waste management. I call it the wasted management, by the way.
Yeah.
Those guys are
great rename.
Pretty wild. Let's get going on the cut. Let's jump right to it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Joining us on the program right now, Bryan DeArdo joins us periodically for us to, of course, jam on everything NFL related, and he's doing that again today. Bryan, thanks for being with us today, man. We appreciate it.
Anytime. And I was watching the waste management. That looked like a course that it's fun to watch, not necessarily very fun to play, especially on the putting greens.
It does look tough, but everybody says it's an event, and it certainly is its own thing. It is definitely unique. And all the other tournaments that are going to be like, well, how could we be more like the waste management? And people are like, yeah, you don't want to know.
Augusta wants to be more like waste management.
Right. You don't want to know how they get there. But Bryan, of course, covers the NFL for CBS Sports, and nice enough to throw in his rankings this week of the first 59 Super Bowls. How was it going through all 59 of those? Because I'm trying to figure out, I can barely even wrap my head around sometimes from year to year who was playing in the previous ones. But all of these are difficult. I know which ones were bad, including my Seahawks back in 2013 beating up on the Broncos. It started with a snap over the head, and it didn't get any better. Where did that one rank on the list? Because that was the first thing I was looking at. Like, I as a Seahawks fan, can tell you it is not a good Super Bowl.
It's about second to last, I believe. I believe the worst one was 35. Now, to answer your first question, I just have always been obsessed with Super Bowls. It's like a Rain Man thing for me. Like, my wife will tell you, like, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, but if you tell me a Super Bowl number, I can tell you the MVP, the score, who played in it. I've always been obsessed with it. So when I got that assignment, I started about a month out. I decided to just summarize all of them first, then rank them together. The one thing I found, though, I feel like there's like 5 that are definitively better than all the other ones. So it's kind of really, to me, doesn't matter what order you put those 5 in as long as those 5 are in the front.
Well, that's what I was wondering is like how, because obviously you look at it and go, well, it was a close game. That's what kind of makes it. I feel like that's just a piece of it because there's a lot that also goes into it. So what were the determining factors that gave you this definitive top 5? And I'll run through it real quick here for people who want to go and they can see where their teams are in this one. The Super Bowl in 2009 between the Steelers and the Cardinals. My co-host today, Stevens and Sylvester, played in that Super Bowl down at Jerry World.
No, I didn't play in that one.
Oh, no, you're in 10.
I was in 10.
You were the next year. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to bring up.
I was at the Sugar Bowl at that time.
I didn't want to. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't want to bring up harsh feelings. But that was a good one. That was Santonio Holmes with the tippy toes.
Incredible
right?
game.
That was also the James Harrison oxygen mask game too. Yeah. So that for me does it. But what were the criteria that you got your top ones with?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was competitive games, start to finish, notable plays, performances, and then the enduring history, legacy, right? And, you mentioned 45. That one was so weird for me. It was just outside my top 20. It was right next to the Super Bowl where the lights went out with the 47 Ravens and 49ers. Mm-hmm. Those Super Bowls are so weird to me because, they were really good games. Packers-Steelers was a great game. But it's just never really remembered in the pantheon of greatest Super Bowls. I'm guessing the reason why is there was no lead changes. Green Bay led the entire way. There were some drops in there. So as far as the cleanliness of the game, there really wasn't much of one. And then the last drive for the Steelers, there was really no drama. Green Bay kind of ended it pretty quickly, but it was still a great game. To me, and this is the craziest part, I picked 25 Giants-Bills missed field goal. I had a lot of insecurity unnecessarily for 48 hours because I scanned the globe and the internet for any other ranking that ever put that number 1, and it was unanimously no. So I'm sitting around why am I putting this game? Nobody. It's always in the top 5. I feel like 42, Giants, Patriots, the upset.
Right.
That one, the Patriots comeback, and the Cardinals Steelers Super Bowl. Those are kind of always unanimously, and the 49, the interception, Malcolm Butler, Patriots, Seahawks.
Yes.
Those are kind of always top 4 with this one right behind it. But again, with my criteria, this game start to finish, 4 lead changes. It was never a blowout anyway. The missed field goal at the end. The great Giants, strategy with control the ball for 40 minutes. The Bill Belichick game plan to basically concede the running game and not allow the Bills passing game to beat them. It just had all the elements to me to be number 1.
Yeah, Scott Norwood, man, broke a lot of hearts that day.
Oh yeah, he did for sure. For me, I got stuck. With the first 10, from 59 to 50. How did you even finish this, bro? Because for me, it just brought me back to my childhood when I'm sitting 3 feet away from the TV screen watching NFL films and seeing all these games. So it's so many memories.
They run all together, yeah.
Yeah, how did you even finish this? Because I got stuck. I remember that game, that Raiders and Redskins. That was a crazy game on NFL films. It was dope. This, and this. I didn't even know how you got all the way to 1. You said you had a month. It would have took me a year to get down to the criteria. But you said that you're just a nerd with all this, which we all are. We're a sports nerds.
Yeah, not to this level, though.
How fun was that just being assigned to this and then going through it and making all that happen?
Yeah, not to get corny, it was literally a dream come true for me. I grew up, again, John Facenda, Steve Sable, like you're talking about, those Super Bowl highlight videos, that to me used to be Super Bowl Sunday. I don't even watch all the pregame shows.
I just
My Super Bowl Sundays were forever on. Yeah, ESPN too. It start the Saturday night, they'd start Super Bowl 1, and then you literally would go all the way through. And the crazy part is, Brett Favre, the morning of Super Bowl 31, was watching all that stuff. Was watching 24th Montana with the when he called an audible. And then he's playing in the same stadium later that day against a Bill Belichick defense and calls an audible, which was the same audible because they had the same offensive system, the West Coast offense with Mike Holmgren. So, to kind of tie it all together. So, again, if you were just a kid back then, 80s, 90s, with those Super Bowl highlights, it made football like a Star Wars movie. It made it more than just a game. It was a cinematic experience, ballet in slow motion, you could say. And but to answer your question, though, the thing that I always told myself, the biggest thing with 59 to 50 and 49 to 40, for me it was a lot about competitiveness. Mm-hmm. How long was the game competitive? So 40 or 22, for example, it was 35-10 at halftime. So it wasn't close after the second quarter. However, all 35 points by Washington were in the second quarter, which is a Super Bowl record. You have Doug Williams being the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl. So the game in itself was a rout. However, the historical elements moved it ahead of other games. So 48 for, the Seahawks-Broncos game, that was a blowout. That was ranked ahead of that one because there's just many more historical elements. But the other thing I also said, people aren't going to nitpick it that much from like 42, 41. What really you got to nail it down is that top 5. And I took a risk with 25. Not everybody's going to agree with me. I could have been safe and picked 42. The Giants, Eli upset. But just for me, start to finish, I just thought 25. And you had the Whitney Houston national anthem.
Oh, of course.
You had the back for dropping the ball forward. There was just every single element of that game checked the boxes. Now, Scott Norwood makes that field goal. It's number 1. Nobody argues. You're not going to hold it against this game that he missed it, right?
I'm looking at this too, and my brain always goes to the worst games sometimes. Like, it's easy to pick the worst games. It's easy to pick the best ones, but the worst games, we've had a lot of blowouts in Super Bowl history, man. I remember when I was a kid, I was living in Dallas during that reign of the Cowboys, of that streak of 3 that they, when they won 3 out of 4 years, and it was that 52-17. Leon Lett could have made it 59. Was it Don Beebe who ran him down? So that game was a blowout. There are so many blowouts that I've witnessed here, and I'm like, how do we get to the Super Bowl and get blowouts in the league that has the most parity in the history of the game?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, right, but back then, as we all know, the parity really wasn't quite there anymore. I mean, because that Super Bowl right there, Super Bowl 27, I mean, that was right at the end of right before the salary cap era, right? So you had Dallas with those stocked rosters. I think, what did Jimmy Johnson have during that point? He had 51 different trades during that period to build that dominant team. So, and I think Buffalo lost Jim Kelly in like the first or second quarter in that game. So you have that major injury, the 9 turnovers that the Cowboys forced. But I think to your point, though, and it's an amazing point. The craziest thing is when you're doing this list, basically almost every great Super Bowl is in this century because of the parity and the salary cap. Roger Goodell said it earlier this week, which blew my mind. 8 division winners this year in the NFL, 7 new ones, including the 2 in the Super Bowl. So, again, to your point, harder to have those blowouts, and that's why it was weird to have number 1 from the 90s, 1991 specifically, because that was right in the middle of all these blowouts in the NFC's reign of 13 straight Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, man. So who was the most, going through all of this, and I was actually just looking at, like, all of the crazy MVP winners, and I was surprised. I thought Tom Brady only had 2 Super Bowl victories.
Those quarterbacks they get the MVP if they don't want to give it to anybody else.
Right. So we going through all of this, like, who was the most unique MVP that you've seen, right? Like, from, like, defensive guys, from Jake Scott, and I seen the Redskin ones, and
it's got to be Larry Brown from the Cowboys.
Larry Brown and Cowboys, against my Steelers. But like, what was the most unique MVP that you came across with putting this list together?
That's such an amazing question. I've never been asked that. I would say probably, you could start with Chuck Howley, the first MVP from a losing team, and the only one from a losing team, the Cowboys Super Bowl 5, had 2 interceptions. Here's a weird one, though. Dexter Jackson was the MVP of 37, Tampa, Oakland. He had 2 interceptions. However, Dwight Smith, his teammate, also had 2 interceptions. They were both pick sixes. So it was like, why did you pick one one defensive back over the other one? But, yeah, I think it's because Dwight Smith's interceptions were so much earlier in the game. I think another one that I've always kind of been interested in as far as MVPs, Terry Bradshaw, the MVP of Super Bowl 14, even though he had 3 interceptions. John Stallworth, a lot of people have always argued that he should have been MVP. He only had 3 catches, but he had the 73-yard game winner and a 45-yarder that kind of put the game on ice. And both catches were pretty incredible. So those are just kind of 2 that stand out right now. But there's another one that I got to say they weren't the MVPs, but Joseph Adai and Dominique Rhodes I always thought should have shared the MVP, and it was 41. Peyton Manning's one. Manning played well in that game, but Adai and Rhodes had both. They should have been co-MVPs in my opinion.
I think that we were looking at the Tom Brady one because we were like, I think he's won 5, and he did. He's won 5 MVPs. Yeah. And I think the first one was funny because Sly was like, I think he threw 145 yards and 1 touchdown, and you go, I don't know. I think everybody was just kind of impressed that the guy
actually did it.
Well, he was coming in, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's the backup dude from when he was a backup in college, too, and he came in and did it. So there's also that part, and there's a little bit of maybe some history in the making with Sam Darnold, of course, in this game. When you see this matchup, and I'm a guy who rooted for the Seahawks a lot growing up, grew up in that area, and I even recognize, too, that this doesn't feel like it has the same edge as some of these other Super Bowls of late have had. Have you gotten that same sense, or are people excited about this one as much as they are about every Super Bowl?
No, I can see my page views and our page views this week. They're down. People aren't really as fired up for this one. So I don't know. it's funny because people always say there's Chiefs fatigue, but this time last year we had a lot more excitement, at least for our website around this game as far as viewership. So I do think that there is not as much excitement. That being said, I mean, because again, what are games driven by? What at the end of the day, it's about entertainment and star power, right? It's like an action movie is going to be better in the day if Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sly Stallone's in it, right? It's not going to have the same appeal if I'm in the movie, right, or one of us is the leading man. So I think we need in this game. I'm sure they would love if Drake May kind of came out of the woodwork and kind of had a game that kind of put him on the map. But here's the guy I'm hoping does well for a few reasons. A, because he went to my alma mater. Jackson Smith-Njigba, he had 300 yards in a Rose Bowl a couple of years ago when Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson up there. Oh, you Utah guy? I'm so sorry, man. I need better self-awareness.
We were both at that. We were both at that Rose Bowl.
Game, though. That was an amazing game.
Well, I want to share with you, and I take this as a compliment. And I hope I'm not throwing salt on the wounds. I'm an Ohio State alumni. I was there right after, in between national championships. Mm-hmm. That was one of the most satisfying wins of my life because of the fact that Utah was such a good team, and they had all the momentum. They were winning basically the entire game, and we didn't have Olave and Wilson in. And I remember just sitting there thinking, man, whoever is in this game, I hope they win because it validates that these games still matter. That it's not all about national championships. To see Jackson Smith-Njigba step up and C.J. Stroud step up. And whenever Buckeye fans ridicule him for not winning anything big when he was here, I always point to that game. So, again, no disrespect to Utah. And really, it's nothing but love for me because it was such an amazing game and they were such a great team. And it's one of the most underrated moments for me as an Ohio State fan in OSU history. And I think Smith-Njigba could have another one of those games. I get Jerry Rice flashbacks sometimes watching him play because he still gets the ball, even though everybody knows he's going to get it. And just like Rice, he makes a lot of his damage in slant passes over the middle.
All right, can you go a little bit, going back to your list real quick, in Super Bowl 25, you got, the Giants and the Bills and Whitney Houston winning your top spot there. A little bit more into what that game really brought to get it to number one over some of these other ones like the Giants-Patriots matchups or even the Giants-Falcons matchups. And, of course, the drama is what really gets to it in the storylines. But in that top one right there, what really brought you to that decision?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think for me, 42, the Giants-Patriots, 17-14. There wasn't enough scoring for me. Mm-hmm. There's 30 minutes plus in that game where both teams scored on their opening drives, and then neither team scored again until the fourth quarter.
Right.
So to me, the best Super Bowl ever, and it wasn't like it was just great because I love defense, but it wasn't a very clean game by either offense, really. I mean, and so for me, 25, it wasn't, the offenses played well, the defenses played well. There were no turnovers, but there was the Bruce Smith safety. It was always close. There was scoring at every element of the game. And I just think, again, you had the Whitney Houston backdrop, the Gulf War. People were in tears before the game even kicked off. Everybody was so emotional. And it was similar to 36 after 9/11. I think America just needed something to feel good about and get their minds off of everything that was going on. And 36 did that, and 25 absolutely did that.
Right.
And I just think also, the fact that the Giants had a backup quarterback. They had a backup 34-year-old running back in Otis Anderson. They weren't supposed to win that game. You have two Hall of Fame should be Hall of Fame coaches, Belichick and Parcells, who just come up with this amazing game plan that we're just going to control the ball. We're going to have, control the ball for 40 minutes with third down completions. And Mark Ingram, one of the most underrated plays in Super Bowl history, the 3rd and 13 conversion, where he breaks 5 tackles to get the first down. You've got the Bills and Thurman Thomas. It was an unbelievable performance in a losing effort. The last drive, right down to the wire. Like I said, the only thing that's really missing from this game is a last-minute touchdown. The last score was 8 minutes left. But again, I don't know if there's ever been a perfect Super Bowl, but I just think this one just checked all the boxes from a drama standpoint, an entertainment standpoint, a competitive standpoint, and a memorable standpoint. And I think that really set the bar for all the Super Bowls that came later.
All right, Bryan DeArdo. He talks about Super Bowls like we talk about children. He's like, oh, man. Yeah, I remember fondly 31. Referring to them as numbers is actually a different level, too.
Yeah.
I'll talk about maybe the years that they were in, but, the way you talk about these things, I love that you said it's a dream come true to put together these Super Bowls because you can hear it in your voice, and we love having that. Appreciate the breakdowns, and I hope that this one turns out to be one that is for the ages as well. At least keep it close so we can get it in the top 10 for next year's list, Brian. We appreciate it.
That's right. And speaking of kids, my 3-year-old's been in the car the entire time while I've been doing this, so I'm going to reward her with a cookie now. And, yeah, it's always good to be on with you guys, and let's hope we have another great game.
There you go. Bryan DeArdo. It's a good market to have the kids on the phone with, by the way. People understand. They get it.
Or the dogs. You went ham on the guy with the dogs the other
Who
day.
had the dogs?
I forgot.
It was, it might have been Pete Futak.
Yeah.
He had all those dogs. I was like, now, hold on a minute. Tell me those dogs' names. Have they been good boys today? I do. I'm all about it. When I heard the 3-year-old in the background, because I have a 3-year-old, and she's in the background all the time. There's a lot of like Teams calls that I have for work that I'm like, oh boy. Good thing I can put this on mute while somebody else talks. Yeah. It's difficult, so we get it. All right. Let me see here. We got to let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to have Sam Farnsworth on at some point here in the program. I just trying to work it out scheduling wise for him as he's in Milan Cortina. Such is life right now. It's almost midnight there on the continent, so we're going to get some thoughts on the opening ceremonies, thoughts on some of the biggest athletes here, of course, from not just the state of Utah, but also Team USA overall. The games are underway. Of course, that's how it works. They are already kicking things off, and we're excited about it. So we'll let you know when we get Sam available as well. So stay right here with us. More to go. 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Stevenson, Sylvester, Sly sitting in for JJ, who's out in Santa Clara. We're going to dip in with Sam a little bit later in the program. From the site of Super Bowl 60, I don't know, like in my mind, maybe it's not, like it's just wild for me to think that you played in a Super Bowl, Sly, because like wrapping my head around just like getting excited about the Super Bowl as a fan is wild enough. And you get excited and I'm just thinking to myself, it's your rookie year. You go and you play in the Super Bowl, and when those flash bulbs are going off, because that's the thing. Like the Super Bowl, they always say, they go, watch the beginning of these games.
It's the most amazing thing.
Peyton Manning even said, he goes, I'm watching when Devin Hester returned that touchdown against them in that Bears Colts edition of the Super Bowl. It was funny because he goes, I just wanted to see, because they hadn't been to the Super Bowl, right? That was his first time there. He goes, I had to turn around and watch all the flash bulbs go off because I know that that's like a thing. And sure enough, they're showing it in slow motion. He goes, gosh, it's just amazing because as soon as the ball gets kicked off, that's when they start all popping. When they gets kicked off, boom, they all start going off. And he catches the ball and he's looking around the stadium. Peyton's looking around the stadium going, just an amazing sight. And then he looks over and he's at the 50, the 40, the 30.
Oh, wait.
20, 10, 5
nobody
touchdown.
stopped him yet.
And then he goes, all right, well, this is great. Like
all right,
he goes,
Tony Dungy.
I got to
the man again.
We're going to kick right at him. That moment, pretty crazy. I was thinking about gutsy calls in Super Bowls. And I think that, and I don't like this guy in particular, but when Sean Payton came out, I think of the Philly special, right? That's a great call, right? And to turn the Patriots on themselves, right?
The
and
2009 Super Bowl.
Yeah, to have the Philly special where Nick Foles caught that touchdown after he had handed it off, and he's the backup. It has a little bit of a vibe of this game too, where he comes in, he takes over for Carson Wentz, who was like having a phenomenal, season. And I think about those things. I think about all that stuff happening. I'm like, man. But Sean Payton, when they did the onside kick to start the second half against the Colts,
Super Bowl 44.
in the next time around, yeah, when the Colts are back again, that is crazy to go for an onside kick
At the beginning of the half.
See, and this is the stuff that the dynamic kickoff doesn't allow you to have anymore. That by itself should be an argument like, yeah, but we can't get this wild, catch you off guard kind of thing.
Man, for me, I think about that all the time. And because when I was playing is when they started changing the rules, from because I remember guys used to have XFL runs to catch the kickoff. They could line up 20 yards deep and get a head start and hit it on the run. And And I was always the 11 and 12 yards, get my head started, and I'm rolling. I'm all the way down, and then they make you go down the 5 yards. So they were continuously changing. And for me, I think a lot of guys made their hay on those special teams plays. And kickoff very different than punt and very different than other things. And so you got special teams guys, you're taking away a lot of their stuff. And honestly, with this new model, there's been more kick return for touchdowns than I thought there were going to be. And so, of course, there's always ways to scheme everything. But, yeah, changing those rules, and especially in the Super Bowl, I was on kick return in my Super Bowl. So I was able to, hopefully they kicked the touchback. And so it was great. I was able to I wasn't watching the ball. Normally I watch the ball on my drop back. I was watching the crowd. Man, those flashes are incredible.
It's wild to see, huh?
It's incredible, and it's one of the biggest things about the Super Bowl.
Well, but nowadays, I don't know, Christian, you're one of those young people. Who's got a flash on anything these days? There's not a soul in that stadium that's got a flash bulb on there, unless they're just doing it for the effect. Everybody get your phones out. Everybody get your phones out and take a fake camera picture.
Right, make sure the flash is on, Christian.
Yeah, wait. How were they doing it before?
Oh gosh.
You know these little things where they go click. Those ones. I guess they all had their own Kodaks out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they did it maybe it's like now they just pass out the LED bracelets like they do at the Taylor Swift concerts and go, hey everybody, here's your fake flash.
How do you know what a Taylor Swift concert involves?
Stop it. You know I collect the bracelets. we don't need to talk about this. But that's what I'm saying. They want to have that effect still, so maybe they have a fake version of it. But yeah, looking at the Super Bowls and looking at how these things kind of get shaken out over the years, it is funny to try to guess on or to try to determine which ones were the best games. Mm-hmm. It's very subjective because obviously if you've got a dog in the fight, that's one thing. And speaking of dog in the fight, did you believe Tom Brady this week when he said, I actually don't have a dog in this fight?
Yeah.
Because all of his former teammates and even former non-teammates are pissed and they're calling him out and saying, you're lying, dude. You have a dog in this fight. You played for that Patriots team for 20 years.
He don't care. I truly believe
you think he doesn't care.
I think he does not care.
He's just trying to do the down the middle thing as a broadcaster now. That's crap.
I mean, I do.
He even owns a team. So when the Raiders are in it, he's not going to have a dog in the fight?
I mean, that's
Does he
different.
Potentially have more of a dog in the fight for the Raiders?
Fight. That's a different fight.
No way.
He already had angst when he left New England, right? And now that they have the potential of being the team with the most Super Bowl wins and setting all the stages, and Drake May in his second year going to the Super Bowl and all the narratives changing, and Tom Brady essentially, you can't. The guy has 7 Super Bowl victories and 6 for New England. Of being a forgotten thought. But, I honestly think that he doesn't care. I don't think he's cheering for the Patriots at all. He's won his last Super Bowl with a different team. He's got to be happy for Vrabel and that coaching staff and, of course, New England. But at the end of the day, he's a Cali guy. And now as a broadcaster, I'm pretty sure he's sixes. He wants to have a great game to call.
There's no way he's sixes for any of this. I don't believe it 1 second.
I do.
First of all, you know what he is? He's pandering. He's trying to be like, I love everybody.
Of course, you know the narratives that are coming out if he said he had a dog in the fight?
But no one would say, how dare he have a team that he would want to win over the other. He's not broadcasting the game. It's an NBC game.
Right.
So it's not like he has to be like, well, I got to be neutral for the broadcast. I could see him not saying anything about it, no comment. You know what I mean? And everybody can guess. Guess what? The team who made him famous or who he helped make famous.
But it's the same thing of what we're doing now as him saying he doesn't have. We're all speculating anyway.
So I guess the equivalent would be, let's say you played at Utah your entire career, just as a hypothetical. You didn't try to transfer somewhere with the NIL money getting big. I can't believe you turned all those zeros down, man. It hurts, doesn't it, to talk about that era? If I was just born 10 years later. So that's like saying when a game kicks off at the college football national championship and you're working for CBS Sports and Utah is firing it up against Alabama just to really accentuate the fact that there's a history there, you would absolutely have a dog in the fight. So don't do this thing like, I understand where he's coming from. I get it. You would absolutely have. You're the guy who still says we about Utah. You never drop it.
You're right.
You'll never be that. And so why would Tom Brady?
I don't even hesitate when I say
That's what I'm saying is like there is not a. So why would this be any different? A guy who obviously played 20 years at one place and won 7 or 6 Super Bowls and 5 Super Bowl MVPs of the team. Nah. Who's playing? It's interesting. No, I really don't have a team. I don't have any friends on that team anymore. It's like, get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay.
Nobody believes you.
You made
You're
a
pandering.
very strong case right there because you used me as an example.
I know. And so you're like, I get where he's coming from. No, you can't because you would never get there in your head either because
Right.
you're too loyal.
Right. I get it. I don't know. It had to be how I departed from my.
Right. And Tom isn't. Oh, yeah. That. You know what? That might have actually affected him as well. Mm-hmm. Because it's not like his time there ended like
graciously.
bed
He
of
took
roses.
so many pay cuts to get everybody in, and Patriots didn't do him any justice, and he still was top in the league. If he just had his 2007 type team,
Yeah, interesting.
year after year, how many more Super Bowls the New England Patriots would have won? Yeah, man, I don't know. You make a brilliant case because I'm Utah all the way, but yeah, man, I don't know. This is
But
just
you're
an
not like.
interesting
But
matchup.
you played for the Steelers, and you're not Steelers all the way. Like you'll go.
Right.
I don't have a dog in this fight. I mean, yeah, I played for Pittsburgh, but Mike
Well,
Tomlin's not
here's
there
the-
anymore.
here's the
Like that
thing.
makes a difference.
Well, this whole NIL stuff and money stuff makes things differently. You don't have the same fealty that you used to have back in the day. There's a lot of pride that went into your collegiate teams, and that carried over into the pros. And when you go into the pros, the way the business is and how they can drop you and the way they treat you and this and that, it's easy to. I don't care. It's whatever. It's not the same as college and the grind that you did with all of that, man. So I would just say the times have changed, and now college is probably more like the pros. And so you get these guys who maybe they were at Utah for a couple years and they move on. They don't have that same pride as me who went there my 4 years and all of that. So I think the business of the NFL probably gives Tom Brady that type of feelings.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. I've got a would you rather that you're not going to want to miss. So we'll bring that up. We'll chat more about that. I think we're anticipating the top of next hour to talk some NBA. That's when we'll get to some Utah Jazz as well, who came off of that 2-point loss just at the very end. Darn it, getting nicked by the Hawks last night. They were this close. The ESPN percentages had them all the way up there. They fall short. But quite a game. So we'll talk at the top of the hour, more NBA and much more to go around the corner here with you on a Friday edition of the program, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, everyone, welcome back. Happy Friday to you. The Friday before the Super Bowl, the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games in Milan Cortina, officially in the books. I always love watching them parade around. And it's really funny because I'll go, I wouldn't have gone with that. I wouldn't have gone with that with that ascot, Chechia. I don't know if I would have worn that. Oh, those berets, tacky.
Oh, God.
What is that, Canada Roots? Come on.
Who's their stylist?
It is. It's like, I think Roots
You
does
eat
all
the
their
bag
stuff.
of chips.
It's like going through the home show and you go, this 14,000 square foot place, I could have seen better. I'd have done better in this room. I probably wouldn't have put that TV stand there. We do that.
They use Maytag? Are you serious? It's
We do that.
2026 and they're
We
still
do that.
using Maytag.
What's funny is that I see those go through and like Ralph Lauren is obviously like the big,
Right.
clothing provider for Team USA. What's funny is you look at it and you go, that's a cool jacket, man. Let's see. Oh, $991 online? Okay. No, thanks. It is like there are multiple $1,000 things you can buy that are part of the Team USA getup. A lot of teams this year going for the full length, like hole in the bottom sleeping bag. You know that look? You know what I'm talking about? The sleeping bag with the feet on the bottom, with the holes on the bottom?
Yeah.
It's like a sleeping bag robe. Lots of countries go in that direction. I get it's cold, but you don't need to look like your Nana walking through like you're trying to get a snack in the early morning.
Hey, man, every Nana's...
The Nona, sorry, not your Nana. It's the Nona.
The Nona's moo is legendary.
We were talking about this before the show because they did, we had some Italian sandwiches, some Italian sodas down in the thing. We're celebrating the kickoff here. Some guy had the guts to tell me as he walked through, he goes, "This isn't Italian. This isn't real Italian." I was like, buddy.
Hey, Jimmy John's is as Italian as it gets.
Valters was not available. I'm really sorry about that. Would you have at least gone with the unlimited salad, soup, and breadsticks at the Olive Garden?
Hey,
make you feel more comfortable?
Nobody better talk smack on the OG. That's my spot.
The OG.
Hey, man. I got gift cards over there.
They're like, Mr. Sly.
Oh, you back again?
No, they don't have an accent. Who am I fooling?
We have your table ready for you.
Some girl from West Jordan's like, "Hey, Sly, you want your usual table?" I've asked them to put.
Me and the boys are going to party at the OG.
I got your request. We'll put more American cheese in the Alfredo sauce. It's fine. All right, so I've got a would you rather here.
All right, let's do it.
I've got in front of me the most that Americans consume food across the entire year for different things.
Across the year,
across
not just
the
Super
year.
Bowl.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So, hilariously enough, so you think about what are the big ones? The Thanksgivings, your Christmases. New Year's is actually ahead of Christmas when it comes to
Parties?
the food consumption. Thanksgiving is obviously number one. Number two is the Super Bowl, and then it goes after that to the rest of the other ones. Like I said, Christmas is fourth.
July?
Third is 4th of July is in the top five. They're number five. That's a lot, right? But they're saying Mother's Day weekend is huge. Easter weekend's huge. Get the ham out, right? And then there's National Prime Rib Day. That's a big one. I need to start celebrating that. I've never celebrated it once. You, Christian?
What
no?
What day is that?
Oh, you don't know? It's the day Sir Prime Rib was assassinated. April 27th. Yeah, April 27th is National Prime Rib Day. National Pizza Day is right around the corner here on February 9th. So.
Oh, is that?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so my question for you is, would you rather have a Thanksgiving feast or a Christmas feast or the Super Bowl food that you get? I'm going to make you answer this too, Christian. Think about it.
I'm Thanksgiving.
Because everybody's
Thanksgiving is my number one holiday. I'm a fatty, bro. I love the food, the variations, the different stuff from I love vegetables from green beans to mashed potatoes to like whatever.
You haven't heard my sermon. You haven't heard my sermon on how Thanksgiving is actually a fake. It's a phony.
I don't even care.
Turkey sucks. Pumpkin pie sucks.
Yes, I agree.
I'm saying in comparison with what we could be getting. Christian, what are you? A Thanksgiving?
You could be getting. What is the alternative?
Super Bowl.
I
You like
like
the
all those
snacky
holidays,
stuff.
trust me. But yeah, if I'm going, all you can eat of any of those holidays, I'd go with the Super Bowl route.
What's the Super Bowl like thing? Are you the chicken wing guy?
Oh, wings, the buffalo dip, the sliders.
You're taking that over Thanksgiving?
I'm with him.
Dude,
I'm
yeah.
with him. You know
Are
why?
you serious? We can have that any day of the year.
I know.
So you can have Thanksgiving too, but you don't. You know why? Because it's actually garbage food, and this goes to my next point. When was the last time
You're
Thanksgiving.
talking
I
about
love
my
Thanksgiving.
cranberry over my dressing?
You only eat it once a year for one reason.
Wow,
It's because it's actually overrated.
You know what? I won a bet against my wife, and I told her I wanted a mini Thanksgiving in the summer. So you know what? I can have it whenever
I love the idea of Whitney having to put some turkey on the table.
Oh, she was pissed.
You at least make it some smoked turkey. Right. Yeah, I'm with Christian on this because look, it's a customized smorgasbord.
Yes.
It's a fat guy's dream.
Jalapeno poppers.
Oh, come on. I love how you did the inflection.
The accent, you heard that? You heard that too? Wow.
I'll have the jalapeno poppers. You wrap them in bacon?
Either or, man.
Okay.
It's the same thing as 4th of July.
4th of July, great, but it doesn't. I don't think it touches the Super Bowl.
I'm actually sending you a video of my meatball subs this weekend. It's on the menu.
All right.
We're doing that.
All right.
I agree. You could have a lot of variety with Super Bowl Sunday, but you know what? Nothing tops Thanksgiving weekend and the leftovers that you have.
If you wanted to find out what food celebrations are happening in our country during the month of February, they celebrate National Bubblegum Day, Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, Super Bowl Sunday, of course, National Pork Rind Day.
Who makes these things
for those
up?
who celebrate? Oatmeal Monday, nobody needs that. President's Day,
I love oatmeal.
big anyone. And then my favorite is on the 27th of February, which is National Tartar Sauce Day. Come on. We got to do better, America. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. And we've got a lot going around the corner. We're still going to get to some hot jazz talk and hot NBA talk because Jared Weiss is going to join us. He covers the NBA for The Athletic. He will jump on here. It's been a busy week for a lot of teams, including our own franchise here in town. I want to get the national writer's perspective on what this thing looks like.
Outside, yeah.
Come on, I like to see what's going on. So Jared's going to join us next. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.